we're going to go over how to create a control chart in Google Sheets. And we'll first cover a little bit of what a control chart is. So that's going to be this first video. Then we're going to show you how to create a control chart using kind of fake data, or in other words, not real life data, kind of an example that it's not practical. And then we'll use a little bit more practical example. So first off, what is a control chart? Well, it's a line chart that allows you to detect whether or not it helps you track process improvement. And what I mean by that is sometimes it can be difficult to tell whether or not a process has improved. So to explain this a little more clearly, I'm going to use our kind of more real life data that we won't touch for a little bit, but we may refer to it from time to time. And over here we have some dates, January 1st through January 21st. So first 2/3 of the month of January. My boss comes to me and says, hey, look at our score. Our numbers aren't good enough. And as far as we're concerned, we'll just say they're not good enough. All we're looking for is improvement right now. And we look at this data and you can see, hey, I jumped from 5 to 9 here. I mean, that's pretty good, right? And if you look down here, it's even better. I had a 5 and then 7 and then 2 8s right in a row. So I had some really good days there. I was improving, right? But what we're going to show you in a control chart is how we can identify that actually we haven't improved our process at all. And I know that because I did create this data here for this monthly, the January 1 through January 21st data. And I know there is no improvement. Okay, statistically, there's no improvement. Even though the data is jumping around a little bit and some days are better than others, the process itself has not improved over this time. Anyway, to kind of give you a better idea of what I mean by this, we're going to use the hypothetical example of dice roll. Okay, that's why I have these larger numbers here. So I have numbers 1 through 6. I've highlighted 5 and 6 because in this, when we're rolling this die, we're wanting to get a 5 and a 6. 5 and 6 is better than anything below. Okay. However, we all know a die, when you roll it, you have an equal chance of getting any of the numbers. So that's what we call statistically acceptable. The 1 through the 6, those are statistically acceptable numbers. They may not be acceptable for what we want, because what we want is a 5 or a 6. But statistically, if we get a 2, we can't really be upset because we had to expect to get some 2s. It's a 6-sided die. Every side has an equal chance. So, that's what we can expect. So let me give you an example. So let's pretend over here on the right here that I rolled this die 15 times. So I have 15 rolls and I have the results right next to it. So I'm going to grab this and turn it into a line chart. It may not make it it made it pretty much exactly how I wanted it. Okay. So the reason why I say it's important to be able to understand what a control chart is, you look at this and it looks like, hey, there's some improvements. It's up and down a little bit, and it looks like, hey, you know what? I went up and then down and up. It looks like I'm trending up, right? Am I really trending up? We'll see. Okay, we'll see. That's what the control chart's all about, is creating a visual that at a glance I can see whether or not I've improved my dice. So we'll go over something called upper and lower control limits in the next video.